Yesterday we developed a couple different stair alternatives for this. A 4-riser plan A, which had you 1, 2, 3, 4 down to the sidewalk with a 40-inch wide stairs. And B was the same 40-inch wide stairs, 36-inch wide sidewalk, but with 5 risers. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the ground. And then overnight, Jimmy thought we could get, instead of, right now I'm showing this down here coming out 5 feet, Jimmy thought we could probably push that all the way down to 6 feet and have another riser up here. So this develops, this C is essentially A, but with an extra riser up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 risers down. The stair's 40 inches wide. So by getting that extra tread up in here, we get to push this down into the ground another 5 or 6 inches. And then he also talked about widening this stair, and I kind of like that. I widened it to 48, kept it centered on the door itself, not on the unit, but on this door itself. And you would do some fix-ups over here. And this is also a 5-riser plan. Same as the last one, 2, 3, 4 to the landing. Gets you down minus 24 almost. And 1 more to the sidewalk and out. And because I liked one of yesterday, I liked this plan yesterday from an aesthetic standpoint. I wanted to develop this again with the idea of that extra tread up there, and so this becomes plan E, which is actually a 6-riser plan, and now the risers become a little less high, so this doesn't get pushed down quite as far, an inch or so over the last one. But this gives us the opportunity, if we have to push this further down, because this, once we come out here 6 feet, this is even further down. And with 6 risers, if we have to push, if we have to get this end to go down further, those risers can be as much as 6 1/4 of an inch. Even you could even push it a little bit more than that, and still be within the guidelines. And finally, Jimmy wanted me to show something like this. I kind of wanted to see what it would look like as well. And the only, these pedestal type stairs are fine, except this top one this is kind of a hazard here, because this is only a 17-inch long edge here. And so generally, so if I'm going to try to use this type of stair, this pedestal type stair, I like the shortest dimension to be no less than 36. This one is 36 along here, and these are plenty long here, but this 17, that could be a hazard. If a person's living there, they get used to something, and so it's not a hazard. So if this is something you end up liking, that's not a problem. And this is what I mean by these, whether you use 4, 5, or 6 risers, the range of net height from the surface of the porch down to the driveway at the far end, at the south end. These are your ranges with this 12-inch tread depth. So if you went down to, if you needed to get that further down into the ground, and you drop this to an 11-inch tread, which is still a very generous tread, then you see these ranges expand. So in the worst case scenario, if we had to get down there 42 inches, you would almost have to go to a 6-riser plan. And then those risers would be approaching 7 inches apiece, which is the typical 7-11 tread. So that is another thing to consider in terms of getting that down to the driveway. So this is an overview review. That was A from yesterday, 4 risers down. 5 risers down was B. C is 5 risers down. And C adds a riser at the top. So it's still 5-riser plan. And railings, now that you have 4 risers, this railing is absolutely required. And then this was widening that same plan to 48 inches. And finally, the 6-riser plan. And what this does, these are 5 5/8. What I'm showing are 5 5/8. And if this is accurate, which I don't think it is, but even 5 and 5/8, and then this is a level sidewalk. Well, it's twisted here at the end for whatever that slope is, but it's pretty much level across here. And finally, the angled plan. For a minute I was thinking maybe that we could make these come out and go back. It occurs to me a person could make this the same pedestal thing, or same pedestal stairs, but where these are squared off like this, but that means this front edge of this one's still only 2 feet, and this one would be only a foot. So, but I'll show it to you just in case. So we take that F plan just for fun here and change it around. And I haven't looked at this from the overview yet, but I'm actually kind of liking this from this plan view. I think it's a little more safe than the angled stairs. It still has that generous, and then a person can put potted plants or something here to deter that sort of pathway. But otherwise I really like it. It's 69 inches wide, and you would, this is how I had laid it out, but you could shift the whole thing that way a foot, or you could have it go even deeper all the way to in front of this column for that matter. But I'm not going to show that much. I'll show the overview of this here though. And sadly you can see what the issue is. It doesn't have that area of sidewalk to meld this all together here. For the sake of thoroughness, I will try to, I think the only way you can really accomplish this sort of a plan is to either move everything back maybe a couple feet. Then you have this falling off issue here though, and I think a person would almost have to put a little railing here, and I don't know, I don't see that working yet anyway. I do kind of like this look though, I will say that. And so I guess the next thing to maybe try to accomplish it would be to, instead of 4 risers, change it to 5 risers and see if that can work. Offhand, and just to give you a look at something similar to this, I think we have to go down to an 11-inch deep tread so that we can increase that riser height, and then add 1 riser to this plan and see if that can work. And you end up with this, where these now become 11-inch treads, so that we have, these are shown, or these were modeled at 6.8 riser height. And I don't know, this is our first look at this, improved this at all. And so you have this sort of a situation here. So maybe you can just drop that last one, possibly make something like this work. And I don't know, maybe Jimmy can make something like this work, but I dropped out that one. And this is so severe here. This is like sloping down 8 or 9 inches here. And I don't know if you can keep this land pushed down to allow for that stair there, where there's just this little funny bit here, and then the sidewalk goes along flat here. And maybe it's doable. Remember, I'm only showing a 28-inch wide sidewalk here. So that's 11, 22, 33, 44, 54, 64, 70 inches. So you'd have to come down maybe 74 inches to get that sidewalk widened. So I don't know, but that should be a thorough enough review for you to make some decisions. And last, here's a few slow rotations around a couple of these plans. To summarize then, between yesterday and today we have reviewed 7 plans. All of those have been shown in this film, A through G. These have 4, 5, or 6 risers. This was the first of yesterday's plan, a 4 riser, and these were 40 inches wide. This was 5 risers from yesterday, plan B. And then we added the tread and riser at the top, the north end of this, and then we widened it out at plan D. So plan C, you just added that tread up there. Plan D widened it out to 48 inches. Plan E added this stair down here. And the only thing I would say about this, if this is preferred, what I would do, or what I would be wanting to do, is I would bring this to maybe 44 wide and this to 40 wide, this sidewalk here, so those are a little bit more proportioned. And then the angled plan, and at the end, either of those I think is as safe or as dangerous as the next. So that is a review for now. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks very much.